I told you that my girlfriend had broken up with me because I didn't have time, and I was
Mm.
running around. At a job, my daughter, and other stuff that I was doing. So we had talked about it being a situation where, okay, well, now that, how do you convince someone that, um, sorry, the no contact piece of it, right? It's like, you know, me going no contact and her feeling like, well, this guy will never contact me because, the one thing I wanted from him was time, and like he didn't have the time,
Sure.
fast forward to now. I noticed over the past week, like she's been watching my Snapchat stories, and
Hmm.
then she's been watching my Instagram stories too. Now, mind you, we don't follow each other, right? She actually unfollowed me, and so for her to see it, she did have to type in the search for my name and look at it, for the past 3 days consecutively. Now, I wouldn't. I know not to reach out until she reaches out,
Hmm.
but I just kind of wanted to talk about that, right? In the sense that, before we broke up, she felt that she had given more to the relationship
Sure.
and that a lot of it was not reciprocated,
Yeah.
So I kind of want to talk about that because, she had mentioned that she felt used, which, I mean, wasn't the case. It's probably how she felt in the moment, but just because I had a lot going on. Um, so I just wanted to talk to you about your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so I get it, right? And I think that's a common thing I hear all the time is that people are thinking about no contact in the context of their breakup when their breakup happened because they weren't very like present in the relationship. And so their mind goes to, okay, no contact is a thing where I'm supposed to leave my ex alone, right? Then you say, okay, but my ex broke up with me because they thought I left them too alone, right? Too alone being I wasn't present enough, I wasn't there enough, maybe I missed some dates, maybe I didn't call them enough or meet those types of needs. So wouldn't I be
Yeah,
adding gasoline to a fire? Wouldn't that just make things worse? Here's what people tend to
yeah,
forget in those situations. And I will before I even get there, let me ask you a question. Does your ex know that you wanted to work things out? Did you make it clear that you were interested
yeah.
in
I
fixing
told her
things? Okay. So
over and over again.
so she knows without a doubt that you want to work on things. She knows that you are receptive, that you are willing to meet her needs and her demands, etc. Reasonable demands, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. But this is a caveat. I'm sorry to cut you. This is a caveat, right?
mhm.
She was doing like 95% of the calling, texting, right, pursuing. Like she did initiate, and say, hey, like I want us to be like exclusive, and then I want us to be more. So like the whole step of the way, she's been the one. Which I mean, um, that was how things panned out. So to her, right, again, this might be me mind reading, right? To her, it's like, okay, I'm not about to call this guy and tell him that, hey, I want to do it again. Like, seeing that was a major issue, that I complained about. It's like, you don't have time for me. I had to do this. I had to do this. I had to tell you
Mhm.
that, I wanted to be a girlfriend. I had to do all this stuff, So, again, I might be mind reading, but, I just thought I'd throw that out.
I hear you, but at the end of the relationship, you let her know that you wanted to work things out and that you were willing to meet those needs, right?
Through text messages, through conversations, through phone calls,
So
like
using
I
clear
did, I
words
did.
to her, she knows where you stood. I will
Clear,
work things out. I will
clear
meet your
word.
boundaries. But
I don't,
she,
I don't want this. I think we could fix this.
yeah,
Yeah,
right. You let her know you were willing to do what it took. So I'm not
absolutely.
saying you
But she
didn't
said she didn't.
contribute to the breakup. You did contribute to the breakup. Let's face it. She was
Yeah,
communicating how she felt and you didn't meet the needs at the time. But don't you made the mistakes. You are here in front of people acknowledging the mistakes you've made. Self-awareness is a
yeah,
part of how we grow. So good on you. What I want you to consider with the original question, which was, isn't no contact going to make my situation worse if I neglected her?
yeah,
The answer is, while I understand where your head is at, the answer is no, because now she's asking to be left alone. She's not receptive to working things out. And she knew that you were willing to work things out. She knew that you were willing to show up. But right now, where her emotions are at today is, I was asking for this the whole relationship, and you want it when I finally broke up with you. So she's kind of pissed off. Do you know what I mean? Why did I have to break up with
Yeah.
you to get you to do this? So giving her all this attention and affection and love now will come across as, you're only doing this because you lost something.
Correct.
So it's part of understanding and respecting how they feel. And you are communicating, okay, you are asking to be left alone. I am going to leave you alone now because you have asked me to. However, should you decide that you no longer wish to be left alone, give me a call so that I know communication lines can be opened up once again and that you won't get pissed off, basically. It's, I'm over explaining it, but you get what I'm going for here.
No, absolutely. Which again has been communicated, but I think it's been like 6 weeks now. Yeah. So, but she didn't start watching stories until this past week, right? So, and so for me, it's like it did cross my mind. It's like, well, is this her showing again? I don't want to mind read. That's what I'm talking.
It's no
through.
direct message
is this
to
her
you,
showing?
and even if it is, pretend it's not. We need I shouldn't have used the word direct earlier. We need a literally direct message to you. Text message, phone call, a DM with words, right? So if one day, let's say you post a funny story on Instagram or something, whatever program you use, and she sends you a laughing emoji, ignore it. Or you can like it or say, hey, how's your day? But like generally assume it's nothing. If she directly texts you, hey, how's your day going? That's different because she has texted you, inviting you to participate in this conversation. You see what I'm saying? Now you can participate.
But how does that work, seeing that I am a fearful avoidant, right? And I'm working through my attachment styles, moving more towards a secure attachment style, because a lot of times I would have, disagreements. My style is to just let the steam blow off, because I know in those moments I could say things that I can't take back.
Yeah, man, but
and she's more anxious.
You're actively describing how you handle these situations, meaning you're aware, meaning it's a choice to some degree.
Yeah.
You know?
Correct. Right. And so my question is, like, is all of that playing into the psychology right now? That, okay, well, this guy is just being he's just being how he is, being a fearful avoidant, and he's not reaching out to me.
Did you and her have long, in-depth conversations about how you're fearful avoidant?
Not in-depth.
Is she aware that fearful avoidant, that attachment theory in general is a thing?
She is not. She just knows that I like to ponder on things personally.
A fellow pontificator, eh? Yeah, man. So just look, all you have to do, I think that's just thinking too far into this. She's not sitting here thinking of this in terms of attachment theory and what Carl Jung had to say about the shadow self and Freud. She's not thinking of it like that. She's thinking of, I dated this dude who didn't give me the time of day.
Yeah.
That's how she's thinking of it. She's thinking of it like an everyday person who probably doesn't have much in the way of attachment theory knowledge, because most of us learn it from the internet. Most of us learn it when we're going through breakups. So maybe she knows something about it now. Maybe she's done her own research, but that's mind reading, and I don't want to get into mind reading. All I can say is, if she's messaging you, she has invited the conversation. And so it's okay to respond and talk to her and tell her, hey, I miss you. I would love to take you out. But make sure that if that happens, you're showing accountability. You should already be in therapy working on these issues that you've identified. And I'm not sure if you are. And if you are, good for you.
No, but I am.
If she's an anxious person, those types of things will show accountability for her to go, he acknowledged that how he could have done better. He is showing accountability by regularly doing better, regularly working on it, right? Consistent accountability is what most of the people who dump us want to see. Just show me that you're here, that you mean it, But the final piece of that is, do I want this, right? And that is, am I receptive? Because you can be doing everything right, but if I broke up with you and I don't want you, it doesn't matter. The door is closed. Right? Knock as much as you want. The door is closed. That's why on YouTube and on Twitch and whatever I happen to be doing that day, I tell people they have to want the relationship, because otherwise you're pressuring them into a stance they don't want. All that pressure is going to make them feel really stressed and annoyed, and then they're going to be cold and rude and shitty, you know?
Yeah.
That's it. So just if they're giving you the go ahead, the green light, go for it. If they're not, if they're giving you this go away, go away, go away, I'm not calling you, I'm not texting you, I'm not pursuing you in any way, I'm being mean, cold, and rude and shitty to you when you reach out to me, it's a stop sign. But people don't like the stop sign because people don't want to be alone. They don't want to feel sadness. And I get that totally from an emotional standpoint, but we have to get out of the habit of allowing our negative emotions to control our conscious mind. Like,
Yeah.
I phrased that poorly. We have to stop letting our negative emotions be excuses for crappy behavior. I can be sad. That doesn't mean I go ruin someone else's day. And when we're kids and babies and toddlers, etc., and teenagers, fine. We're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna screw up. Young adults, even grown adults, we're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna screw up. It's acknowledging that we made a mistake in our adulthood and showing accountability for that mistake. How could I have done better? It's something we're all going to fail at. So that's why I ask people not to feel bad or guilty or beat themselves up, because it is arrogant to think you'll never make a mistake. My friend, in the relationship, you made mistakes. In my relationship, I make mistakes. In my past relationships, past friendships, past interactions with people online, I've made mistakes. I fucked up from time to time. I can't show accountability unless I do the self-awareness and ask, how can I do better next time? And how can I start doing better today? And I mess up, and you mess up, and we all mess up. And welcome to being a human. We make mistakes. So leave yourself alone, dude.
Yeah. So basically, I just don't say anything and just wait until she reaches out. Period. Regardless of what happened, all that.
Yes.
She chose to walk away when I said we could fix it. So.
Yes, it's just showing respect and basic, self-awareness. If she reaches out to me, I am being invited to a conversation. If I go to her, the likelihood that I piss her off even more when she's asked for space in the form of a breakup, it's for the first time in the relationship, looking at her and saying, "You've asked for space. I hear you. I will be over there if you need me." That's all I ever suggest to people. And in the meantime, you focus on the one thing in the story you can control, which is your own actions.